Just a sec. Okay, so hello everyone who is watching our YouTube live stream or the recording of this week's growth call, and big welcome to all of the guys who I'm stuff for today. This time I also posted the Google Hangout invitation link in the chat next to the video, so you can also join us in the Google Hangout if you want. If you just want to watch the YouTube live stream, you can always write any ideas, remarks in the chat, and I will try to monitor it very closely during the meeting. Thanks also, as always, to Chris Sacher for writing down the meeting minutes after the call. And for everyone who is joining us for the first time, our growth calls, like this one we are having today, is about exchanging learnings on how to grow the Bisq network. And we decided last year in December to focus the next couple of months just to grow the liquidity on Bisq. That means the buy and sell offers that are available. If you are really new to Bisq and you don't know what Bisq is, it's the only real decentralized fiat cryptocurrency exchange out there. So you can exchange fiat currencies like US dollars with Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, or you can even exchange cryptocurrency against cryptocurrency. On last week's growth call, we talked mainly about the US dollar liquidity week. We are planning for end of this month. So it will be from the 26th of February until the 4th of March. And we also decided on the structure and the compensation. So everyone who is participating, besides supporting the Bisq network, will also receive 20 Bisq tokens as a kind of extra reward. So if you are from the US and you're watching this and you have a bank account there and some Bitcoins available, then please talk to us either on Slack, Twitter, GitHub, here in the chat. And we try to onboard you as smoothly as possible to join our upcoming liquidity week. So before we go into detailed discussion on the liquidity week, I just want to give a quick intro on the terms that we use. So what is a Bisq token and what about the Bisq DAO? Regarding the Bisq DAO, I don't want to go into much detail as we will have a video. I think it was on a conference where Chris participated. So it should be available soon on this channel. But still, I want to give you a quick intro on the Bisq token itself. So everyone who is contributing meaningfully to the Bisq network is able to get compensated by Bisq tokens end of each month. So the Bisq token itself has different utilities. You can use it to vote within the DAO. You can transfer to and you trading fee development and might be released some months. You can already earn by taking bounties or join, for example, activities like the week end of this month. And after the launch of the DAO in production, basically, you will also have your Bisq tokens available in the production Bitcoin blockchain. I hope I didn't say anything wrong, Chris and Manfred, please correct me if I'm talking absolutely nonsense.
No, it all sounded about right, but you broke up a little bit in the middle. I don't think you need to repeat necessarily. People can ask questions if they have it, but that's happened a couple of times. So
yeah, sorry about that. I tried to switch places now in the office with a different Wi-Fi, but obviously it's still not perfect. So I also mentioned Bisq Bounties. So Bisq Bounties are just tasks that support the Bisq network that anyone can take and fulfill to earn Bisq tokens. We do post them mainly on GitHub. You can search for the Bisq Bounty label, but we also post it on Slack or Twitter now and then. What I will do after the call, like on the other calls, I will post the links of available bounties, especially the ones where you don't need to have an engineering background. So there are bounties for first trades on specific markets that are available. So it would be if you do this first trade, it would also be great if you give us feedback on your experience. Maybe even tell us which payment methods are used in your country mainly, or we should support. And there are also a couple of bounties out there for video tutorials, like the one we have for Euro, and also for Indian rupees here on our channel. And last, the Liquidity Week. With Liquidity Week, we just mean for 1 week, a couple of guys in our last week, there were 5 of us, try to have one buy and one sell offer available all the time. So we kickstart and push the market, and that worked for the Euro Bitcoin market really well. So we want to do this now for the US dollar market. So for today's agenda, we will talk about payment methods for the US, which ones we should support additionally to the ones we have already. And maybe we can also talk about actions. Maybe the week. So let's.
We just lost you. Maybe we can talk about actions, Christoph.
Yeah, about actions. Yeah, I wanted to that we might also talk about actions, how to promote the US dollar Liquidity Week, and before the Liquidity Week and after. I will have a look if I can switch the Wi-Fi. If maybe.
Now it's blocked.
Now it's completely locked?
No, now we can hear you.
Or we could.
Let's do it. So maybe it works better in the meantime. So regarding current payment, aware, all trades that go through in the US are made with Cell or Celle. I don't know how to pronounce it. But we also have Chase QuickPay and US Postal Money Order. But I don't know if they were used at all so far. Chris, Manfred, are you aware if they were used, or is it Cell which works best?
Yeah, I think Cell is probably 90%, but there have been some deals with Chase and also with cash deposit and US postal money transfer. Not too many, but there have been some. Maybe I can give a little bit of background, because there have been already the question that we should add national bank transfer. The reason why the US is the only country in the world where we cannot support national bank transfer, because we don't have a way to avoid that people are using ACH. I'm not sure how to pronounce this correctly. And as far as I'm aware, ACH is very risky for chargeback. So as we had initially national bank accounts available, also people did a national bank transfer, and we had no control if they use wire, which is less risky, or if they use ACH. So that was the reason why we have removed national bank transfer from the US. And unfortunately, besides Cell, we don't have too many options. And we would like to add more, like Cash App maybe, or Venmo, or I don't know what else is popular there.
Yeah, regarding Venmo, I just did a quick search and I found some posts on scams, and that there is some chargeback risk, but I don't know if on their website they say if it's transferred, yeah. What?
Manolo is here. I
Manuel.
think he's got something to say about Venmo.
Yeah, that would be great.
Hi, how are you guys doing? So it's true that they don't say much on their website. I just called them. I just called their support center, and basically they said that if you have to cancel, well, first I asked what happened if you send money because you buy something and that something is broken. They said that you should not do that, because Venmo is not supposed to be used for commercial issues. It should only be used for personal transfers. I don't know if that's a problem or not, but that's what they say. Also, they said that if you send the money to the wrong person, you can file a claim, and they will transfer that claim to the to a specific department. You cannot speak with that department. They will just send your claim, and they will decide what to do. Most of the time, you will not get your money back, but it looks like they have the ability, if they seem it necessary, to take the money back. And it was kind of hard to get much information from the support center about how that works, or in what occasions they will cancel a transfer.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
very interesting. It might be worth testing if only 1 in 1,000 payments can get reversed. It might be worth testing for small amounts at least, especially because it's fast. And
regarding the chargeback risk, basically every fiat transfer has a chargeback risk. Every bank and so can. It's just a question how easy it is, and if it can be used systematically by scammers like PayPal or so would be super easy. So when it's really hard, because when a scammer would do it 5 times in a row, he get probably flagged by the company then, and he cannot go on with this. He get them blocked. So it sounds for me what you explained, that it's reasonable. Low risk at the end, that we can add it and can give it a try. And also we have with the lower limits when it's a new account, and when we add it, all have a new account. So when they start, they have small amounts. So for real professional scammers, it's not so attractive, hopefully.
Manfred, how easy is it to add Venmo and Cash App if we also decide to try it?
Yeah, it depends if they require anything special. When they're basically the same like Zelle, that you have a name, email address, and maybe account number or whatever, then it's not a lot of effort. Because when I do it, it's probably 2 hours.
Right, but we might wait for the next release, right?
Yeah, it's just so in our Git master, we have a lot of merge now and some quite risky changes, also a lot of changes which require a lot of testing. So the next release will require a lot of test effort. So probably 1 week we have to prepare just for testing effort to not have any new bugs introduced or so.
But it might be done in time for US Liquidity Week, right?
The effort for the payment method is not hard. In the worst case, I could make basically a release from the version from the last release, just add the payment method. Then it's basically no testing effort. And when we have enough resources, then we need probably 1 week for testing the whole application. So that
just remind us here, when does the week begin? What's the date?
The 22nd of
26th of February to 3rd of March.
So there would be 1 or 2 weeks left, and we still have for 1 week testing.
Yeah.
If most of us.
Yeah, we can. It's an important topic that Manfred just brought up. We can basically take it offline, but I think that's enough time. And what that really means is, like, we should probably write down this testing protocol that we need to go through, and maybe get some people involved to help us test. There's a big manual testing process that goes into, like, really verifying that a Bisq release is ready to go, and that's always been on Manfred, right? So this is like a good opportunity to maybe start scaling that up a little bit. So it's a side topic, but
plus we know, but it's not completely a side topic, because we really need help with the testing in the US, and we need volunteers to help with those tests. So, you know, it's worth mentioning that anybody who can help with this, who's willing to do a few, you know, you only need 2 people to do payments to each other, right? And to try and see all the options and info that you need, and to give feedback. So we do actually need a couple of volunteers from the US with Venmo or with Seller or with Cash App to help us see if it would work.
Yeah, and for testing of the client in general, we do have already a kind of first draft of a testing document where we have collected the main use cases. So also on the engineering side, so if there is someone who has a software engineering background, it would also be great to support on testing. And it's not a big deal, actually. It's well documented, everything. So you can have it up and running in just a couple of hours.
And if you want to come talk to us about that, just talk, find us in Slack, right? You can find invites on the website, bisq.network/slack-invite, and just come talk to us about it. We'd love to hear from you.
I can definitely help with the testing, and I have a bunch of coworkers that would do anything for a couple of free tokens. So having 2-3 people to do some small amount transactions would be easy.
Cool. So regarding Venmo, it sounds to me that we are going to integrate that. Is that right?
For what I can tell you, everyone. I live in California, and everyone uses Venmo. Every single person uses Venmo. Is how I pay my landlord. Is how you pay your friends. I have the option of using Zelle through Bank of America. I have never used it. I don't know if it's good or not. The thing is that you just don't need it because Venmo is instant. Venmo doesn't charge you any fee. Venmo doesn't. The only thing that it has with Venmo is that it takes 3 days to receive your money. When someone has paid into your account and you want to transfer that to your bank account, it takes 3 days. They just actually added the option to receive the money instantly on your credit card with a 25-cent fee. And everyone uses Venmo here. That's why I think that Venmo integration would be a really big one.
How long does it take to verify a payment that's made to you? So somebody says, "Hey, I just paid you." How long does it take for you to verify?
If both of you are very...
Oops, I just lost Manuel.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I was away a few minutes. Did I miss something important?
We want Venmo, basically.
Yeah. And how was it with the 3 days? So you can verify it instantly, but until the money is only available after 3 days for the...
No. The money is available in your Venmo account immediately, but it's only if you want to withdraw from Venmo to your bank account, it's 3 days.
Okay, yeah, I don't care.
And they've also added a new withdrawal feature to your debit card. Manolo, I was just telling them that it's 3 days for it to hit your bank account, but it's instantly available in your Venmo, right?
So yeah, when you make the transaction, when you send money to a verified account, that transaction is instantly. It pulls from if you don't have Venmo credit, it pulls from your bank account or from your credit card, however you have it set it up. And the money transfer is instantly. When you send to a new account, so to an account that you are not sure if he has an account or not, with Venmo, you can use your phone number, you can use your email address, or you can use just a nickname. So sometimes if I don't know, someone asks me for money and I don't have his Venmo account and I know his phone number or his email address, I just use that. If they don't have that email address or that phone attached to their account, that money stays like in the limb, and whenever they attach the number to their account, they can get that money. In that case, you can actually cancel the transaction.
Yeah, unclaimed payments, you can cancel. That's right.
Exactly. But when you transfer to someone who is verified, when you click on an actual user and you transfer, that money transfers automatically. That monies go to your Venmo account. And from your you can use the money from your Venmo account to make other Venmo payments, or you can cash that money out. If you cash out to your bank account, it takes 3 days, no fees. If you cash out to your debit or credit card, I'm not sure if credit cards, but debit cards for sure, it's instant, it's instantaneous, but they charge you 25 cents.
Okay. Is Venmo US only, or is it more international?
As far as I know, it's US only.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I mean,
I just had one more question, for Manuel. What's required when you make a payment? Is there any sort of verification you need to do, like receiving a text message or anything like that?
No. I guess that the only verification is that you attach a bank account.
Yeah, and so
I don't
how about
remember right now.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, I don't remember right now.
Manolo, I know what he's asking. Chris is asking because in the case of an incomplete trade, he will need some document for arbitration. Is that right? Is that what you're asking?
Actually, it wasn't, although that's an interesting angle. The reason that I'm asking is that a lot of people who have bank accounts in the US, but that are expats, can't use Zelle because Zelle requires authentication. When you go to make a payment over a certain dollar amount, you have to get an SMS, and it has to be your phone in the United States, right? So just looking to see if there's any barriers like that with Venmo.
I have transferred more than, I mean, you have a maximum amount. I think you have a maximum amount. I don't remember if it was like $3,000 or $5,000 a month that you can transfer. I don't remember what was the maximum on a single transaction. I have transferred like up to $1,500 in a single transaction, and I didn't need any verification. It was a valid user that I was sending the money to, and it went through without any other extra step for being a higher amount.
Yeah, those kind of monthly limits or daily limits are a very important property. And Manfred, I don't think we have any means in Bisq right now to limit the amount of a trade based on payment method, do we?
No, I mean, we could add this basically because the application knows how much you have already traded per month with one payment method. I'm not sure if these limits are 100% fixed, so if they're kind of like depending on whatever your profile is, so probably they're fixed in Zelle. Might be a nice feature. At Zelle, we have a big pop-up where we're telling the people, they have to take care of about this, and when they don't take care, because we had some disputes where people tried to make a trade and then they find out now they cannot do it because they reached already their limits, so they have to take care of themselves about this. One question with Venmo, which data are required? Is it email address or telephone number? Is there anything else? The name probably you need?
No. The best way is just the Venmo account. The telephone number or the email is an alternative, but the best way, most smoothest way to do it is with the Venmo account. Okay, that's the account number, like OKB account number or something like this. And so basically that's the name probably you need to know the full name. Or can I send you money when I only know your account number?
Yes, actually, that's the only thing that you need. You might not have your email or your cell phone attached to your account, but you just have your nickname. Yeah, I mean your account name.
Even more privacy. And for the arbitrator, so when anything goes wrong, how can the arbitrator prove? Do you see on the web page your outgoing payments and incoming payments? That would be basically enough.
You can see it. You can see all your own transactions. Actually, Venmo makes a weird thing. I don't really understand why they do that, but you have like a social stream of transactions, so you can see what your friends are doing. You never see payments. You never see amounts, but you can see that someone pays to someone else, and really? And you can put a note in the transaction. So there is a lot of emojis in there. But for example, every time I do a transaction, I have a private. So it's only me and the person who is receiving it who can see that transaction happened.
That's a weird idea.
Manfred, millennials don't care about privacy.
Yeah, they want to do social in fintech. That looks like when people just want to apply a hype. But yeah, sounds good. I mean, as long as there is a HTTP page where both people can verify that they have either sent the money or received or not received the money, then it's basically like with a bank account, and the arbitrator can figure it out with a page signer. So I don't see any showstopper for Venmo. Let's try to get it at it.
Okay, next thing people have asked for is Cash App, Square Cash. Square is already very crypto friendly. They're doing you can buy and sell Bitcoins. I don't know if you can withdraw them, but you can buy and sell them on Cash App already. We looked at the limits last week. They're similar to Venmo. We looked at chargebacks, similar to Venmo. Very, very difficult to make a chargeback unless it's a case of huge fraud or something. But I don't know anyone who's had hands-on experience. And
I have experience with Square because they were the guys who forced us to change the name to Bisq. At the end, they helped us. Well, now we have a better brand. So, but beside this, I don't have experience. But and the data. So how is the transfer done? Also with a kind of like account number or email address or?
I don't know.
You have an ID, like a handle, right? Like I'm at CBeams on Cash App. Okay. If that's what you're asking.
And yeah. Also, what's the identity? What you're sending? Which data do we need for setting up a payment account? Does anybody? Maybe we should find out somebody who has already set up an account or who can try to set up an account to just get a little bit of feeling, because often the advertising on the web pages are not really like it looks like when you try it out. Chris, you have it already?
Yeah. So if I want to pay somebody, I've never actually used it. I just have downloaded it. But yeah, it might not let me because I don't have any balance on it yet. So I don't know. I just know that it's just sort of like at some username. I imagine that's what the recipient details would entail.
You guys are talking about the Cash App?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I download that the other day. I haven't used it, but I have friends using it in here. So if you guys need to that I give it a quick try and give some feedback, I'm happy to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be great when we find two people who do a quick check if everything works like this and what we need exactly. Then we can add this as well. Doesn't sound like and the transfers also. Do you have a web page where you see your trade, your balances and history, transaction history?
I don't know if there's a web interface for it. All I've ever seen is
because on the mobile it will be difficult for the arbitrator to verify. So we should have a basically HTTPS web page, then everything is easy.
I believe that you guys are aware that Cash allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin already, right?
Yes.
They don't let you actually withdraw it. They don't let you deposit or withdraw yet, do they?
Yeah, I don't know. All I know is it's supposed to be rolled out to most users now, but somehow I'm not included in that. Or maybe my app can do it, but because I don't have a balance on it, it doesn't allow me to get into. It's like you have to like swipe left at some secret place to get into the Bitcoin functionality. There's no sort of affordance in the UI, but I've tried to follow the instructions and I can't do it. So I know that they've just been in the process of rolling out the ability to buy, but I don't know if there's any ability to sell yet. And the whole point is that it's nice that they're doing that, but it's a custodial service, right? They're holding private keys, so it's actually an interesting opportunity for us with Bisq to compare and contrast two different styles, right? You can use Cash App as a payment method in Bisq, right? So that you can actually hold on to your Bitcoin properly, right? As opposed to this nice and convenient thing where you don't have the private keys and therefore you don't have the Bitcoin, right?
In fact, it's a way to withdraw from Cash App your Bitcoins if you can't do it right now. So you just pay someone else. You might even be able to pay them in Bitcoin for Bisq Bitcoin.
I'm just looking at the web interface.
Do more testing on that, but moving on to Liquidity Week, it's an experiment. It's not going to change the world, but if we just manage to get 10 offers on the order book, and we see what happens, how the volume increases when that's there, and it really does not take much. We just need 4 or 5 people to place a couple of offers each. We don't need the spreads to be very narrow. If they don't want to have a lot of activity, they can do 5% or 10% away from the market price. But we just need a dozen orders, 10 orders on the order book for a week. If we can do that, we'll get some measurable data that we can use. So basically, if Ori can get a couple of people and Manolo can get a couple of people, and another couple of the volunteers that from Slack who said they were in the US join. It's done. It'll be a success as an experiment.
Yeah, and it looks quite promising. I was so quiet because there's so much activity in the live chat at the moment. There are people asking why we are not supporting debit cards at the moment.
Yeah, because of the chargeback risks.
So, and again, I hope I answered it correctly regarding the cash deposit. That was just used very rarely so far, but it was used already.
Yeah, it was used. I think it's more used by those who are very privacy concerned, because the send of the money can stay private with this method. I cannot really estimate it well, but maybe something like 3%, 5% of all trades in the US.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So regarding payment methods, so we will give Venmo a try, and regarding Square, we just have to figure out the last details, either by ourselves, or if someone wants to take this and have a more detailed look, who has actually a Square account. Or Chris, do you think you can just figure out everything on your own?
What I think we should do is take the opportunity to, because I've written this up now, like, I don't know how many times, like a rough set of the details that we need for a payment method, but to really actually write up, hey, this is what you need to, these are the questions you need to answer for us to consider adding a payment method, chargeback risk, monthly limits, If we have like a place to go to just in our docs, and then we can point people to that. And I think Manuel, were you saying that you'd be up for doing the research on Cash App as well? Did I hear that right?
Yeah, I downloaded it. I haven't even set up with the credit card, but I just tried to put some cash in it. It's just asking me for a debit card, and I believe when you have that cash, you can also buy Bitcoins right away. And if you guys have the integration with Bisq, I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah, cool. What I actually mean is just sort of filling in the blanks on, like, what are the limits? What are the verification methods? These are basically the same questions we have every time we consider a new payment method. So one of us will write up that doc, but then if you could fill in those answers, just doing that initial research, and then there's the testing that would follow.
Yeah, I can help with that.
Cool.
The most important will be that we figure out if there's a web page where you can see your transfers in case of a dispute, that the arbitrator can verify this, because over the mobile, when it would be only in the mobile, all the transfers and all the your history.
It's not. I just looked. By the way, the web
Yeah.
interface is there. It's all good. HTTPS, so we're fine.
Okay, yeah, would have been a surprise also.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah. So besides the two payment methods, do we want to market the US dollar liquidity week somehow special, or we'll stick to the Twitter activity that we do anyways? Might work best.
A tweet every day reminding everyone that it's US dollar liquidity week will be nice. Having the video tutorial in US dollars would be amazing. But beyond that, it's just, we only need 5 people, mouth to mouth, and we can get it. I see that Jonathan's joined. I think he's also from the US. So that's yeah. If we, with the 3 people from the US that we have online right now, and a couple more, it's done.
Yeah, perfect. And regarding the US dollar Bitcoin video, what's the current state? So there's still the bounty out there for anyone to take, as I'm aware of.
Yeah, I sort of semi-volunteered myself last week to do that. I think it might be a good idea for me to do the US one, since I'm a card-carrying US person anyway. But then that can be like a template for these other ones that we do, and people will have a script, that they can go from and just adjust it to their sort of locale or whatever's necessary. So I'm happy to put that together.
Cool.
If you guys have like a list with to-do points of what things must be in that video, I already mentioned it today. So where I work, I told Felix about this. We do a lot of video tutorials for our devices. We believe that that's the easier way to make the people understand how things work. And I spoke with one of the marketing guys, and told him about this and about the tokens that he can get if he makes a nice video tutorial. He was interested. So if you guys have like a set of to-do points of the minimum things that you guys would like him to cover, he's happy to do so.
For US dollars or for other videos in general, or is that kind of
videos in general on how to install Bisq, how to set up your account, how to use Venmo to send money, how to, you know.
Do you have could you send a link to other work that he's done? If any of it's
yes, I mean, I can send you guys on the Slack some videos of the different things that we do, but it's pretty basic. It's just a video from that records your desktop and a voice over.
Yeah, just nice to see how, you know, nice to see an example of somebody's work.
Right. Yeah.
Cool, but yeah, please send that along. Thanks.
Yeah, cool. So is there anything else we want to talk about regarding the US dollar liquidity week? Or actually it looks like we are on the best way to have everything ready until end of February. Maybe Manfred,
regarding maybe a short note regarding their payment methods. As when we implement it, I would suggest to make it in a branch which is based on the latest release, so we are flexible. Because as I'm still not recovered from my flu, and I'm not sure if I can really work a lot the next weeks, I need to recover a little bit. And but I mean, this work for these two payment methods when they are straightforward, I can do for sure. But do a full testing with all the open pull requests and everything, I'm not sure that will be quite a little bit of work. And so to be independent from this, when anybody would work on this, when I'm not doing it myself, then yeah, we should do it that way, so we can make an easy release without a lot of testing effort.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't merge any new payment methods until the payment method was complete anyway, right? So if somebody was working on Venmo that wasn't you, like, we'd wait until that pull request was good to go to merge it, right? Were you saying anything different?
It would be just more complicated when somebody is based on the current master, which has a lot of changes. Yeah, then.
I see. So you're saying that they should base their branch on 065, like the tag 065 or something.
Yeah, exactly, because there have been quite a lot of very valuable pull requests, but which are big changes and need a lot of testing. And there might become more, and there are quite a lot of pull requests open, so it will be. All these changes will be a big release and will require quite a lot of testing effort. I'm not sure if I can cover it from my workforce.
Yeah, then if it's a safer option for sure. So because the date is already fixed, and as we all know, development work always gets delayed somehow. So I think starting from the release tag might be the safest option. Because
and also probably. The release should be done a little bit before this, when we kick up the liquidity.
Guys, sorry, but I have to leave.
Yeah, it's over anyways. Okay. Yeah. Then thanks everyone for watching and participating on the live chat, and everyone who joined the Google Hangout. And talk to you again next week on YouTube. And please feel free to contact us on Slack and GitHub anytime if you want to contribute.
Hey guys, before you take off, I had one question for anyone who's hanging around for a minute. And if you really want to stack your liquidity in these pairs, then I'm just wondering if anyone else can comment on why there's a percentage threshold for bidding or offering out of the money. I mean, we all know Bitcoin's super volatile. It would be nice to be able to rest orders that are well beyond your current thresholds.
You can change that. You mean that the distance from the market price is
correct?
10% is by default. You can change it to maximal 20% in the settings. It's I mean, we relax
just saw
it.
Like a 60% decline, though. You know, like that would have that wasn't a big enough threshold if people were sitting there waiting for it to come back down.
But you know, this price is going with the market price. So when you make your order 1 week before, so when the price was 15,000 K, week later it was 10,000K. They're 20%. When you set your offer with 20%, it will be still 20% under the 10K at the moment when somebody will take it. So
I mean more just on fixed orders, not on something that's floating to the price, but just to be able to rest a fixed order. I don't understand why there needs to be a threshold. It would probably increase liquidity a little bit more if you could bid an offer outside of that range.
Yeah, I mean, one reason is that every offer is adding load to the network. It's a peer-to-peer network. Every node is storing, and these offers get all the time flooded in the network and refreshed. So the more offers what we have, the more load we are creating. So the offers create the costs. We don't want to have thousands of offers with 50% market difference, because nobody will take this offer usually. So the offers which are very close to the markets are valuable. That's also why the fee is depending on the distance of the market price. So the further away from the market price, the higher your fee are, because the more, the closer you are to the market price, or when you even on the negative side of the market price, the more value you add to Bisq, basically, because you have good offers for other users. When you put an offer with 20% or something, it's not very valuable, because very unlikely that somebody will take it.
Well, it's not very valuable at that particular moment, but prices are very volatile. So give it a day and it could be right on the money, But I understand that if it's creating server load that you're trying to prevent right now, then that makes sense. I just couldn't understand why that was there at all. But if there's a cognizant reason, then sure. But that seems like something that over time it would be good to put those in, because I mean, I would love to rest orders and just walk away, but if I don't like the current range, then I have to keep logging into Bisq, or I have to at least wait to rest that order, And if I want to be first in line at that price, I don't know. It's just something that a lot of exchanges allow you to do that would probably be something you guys should work on over time.
Ori, are you on GitHub? Could you add an issue for that?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, because that actually surprises me. I never even realized that. I always thought those thresholds applied only to our actual, floating from the market price orders. I just tried it myself and got the warning that a fixed price offer that I'm trying to place is outside the 10%, default limit. It's surprising to me, but it's also interesting that I've never heard another person complain about that. So that's food for thought, but in any case, it'd be great to have an issue.
I think most people probably won't have an issue with that, but I'm someone who the only time I enter the market is waiting in line. I don't punch in and punch out and do market orders. I wait in line. I have an entry and exit point well before. So with the price movement of Bitcoin so volatile, it's just it's difficult right now on Bisq.
The use case makes total sense. That's why it would be great if we have an issue. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, one other reason was to avoid when users make mistake with the price and accidentally set 10% of the real price what they would like to, and then the offer gets quickly eaten up and the user is frustrated. Was another reason to have some kind like sanity check. But I mean, I'm open to release this limit to further up to whatever 30, 40%, 50%.
I definitely suspect the majority of users are not going to have a problem with that, and that it probably helps to prevent misinformation about the current price. But if you guys do want to build high liquidity exchange, I mean, that's just something that'll probably be required later down the road when more people and more actual, I don't know if I want to say savvy traders, but people that aren't trading necessarily at the current market, that are trying to line up somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'll open with you for that. Thanks for your comments.
Yeah, I think the most important feature what's missing for more professional traders is that they can cancel or they can modify a offer without losing the fees. That's quite.
Oh, is that the case too? If you cancel or modify, you lose the deposit?
Yeah, you cannot modify it. You can only remove an offer or create a new one. That has also some conceptual issues. I mean, we have an open issue for this, but it needs a little bit of conceptual thinking and work how to do it right. It's a different model.
Just to clarify that again. So I can cancel the order without losing the deposit, but I cannot modify it?
No, the deposit you always when you create an offer, your money is at your local wallet. It doesn't leave anything. It's just reserved for this offer when somebody's taking your offer. and then your deposit goes to the multisig. At this time, the money is in a multisig. Before, it's always on your local wallet. The only thing when you would remove an offer is that you lose your trading fee and the transaction fee for this trade fee transaction. So when you create an offer, you're paying the trading fee, and especially the transaction fee was much higher in the recent months, like the actual trade fee.
That's a Bitcoin network fee you're talking about, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you're removing the offer, this is gone basically. And when you create a new offer, you have to pay it again. So that's
you know what though? As long as Bitcoin fees remain low, I love that, because what it does is it prevents like spoofing the order book. It makes sure that you're not just spamming with orders. Like that's very, very normal in other instruments. I actually kind of like that.
That's a good point, and I think that's really a very interesting angle to see this decentralized exchange. It has different properties. It cannot compete on certain areas with centralized exchange because they have a completely different model, but it creates new value, like it's much more trustful, like the price also, the price discovery or the price, everybody can see the price. There's not a company whom you need to trust that they have really made whatever millions of volume and this price. I mean, they can lie about this. Nobody knows it. It's trusted. You have to trust the company. In Bisq, everybody get the same data. There's either it's private between the trader or it's completely transparent to everybody in public. And I think, and like what you said now with spoofing and all kind of manipulations, that's probably harder in Bisq because, it's a different model at least.
This really speaks to the priorities, right? There's a reason that these things are in place mostly, and it's what we're actually not focusing primarily on having this very high liquidity or servicing the needs of the sort of most sophisticated day traders or what have you. It'll probably be a long time, right, before Bisq evolves to that place. Because what we care the most about is having a rock solid on-ramp and off-ramp from fiat to Bitcoin, right? From fiat back and forth to crypto. So you just prioritize things very differently there. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't make every effort to implement features as we can, right? It's just we're always checking ourselves against a kind of different standard than the other exchanges, right?
Yeah, I think
that makes sense.
Honest and aware of the limitations, and in my opinion, for speculators, for day traders who just want to make advantage from price movements, something like CFD, contract for difference, spread betting is much more suitable in my opinion. And I think that's possible to build a decentralized CFD model. Then you're not moving Bitcoin and you're not moving fiat, you're just betting on a price, and the winner is getting out.
That would be very interesting if you had like next to zero spreads, because the only reason I don't like CFDs, for one, I don't trust the mark and I don't like the spreads. But if I can trust Bisq to properly mark that and the spread is not like 3-4%, that would be outstanding for sure.
I mean, that's the interesting thing also with, for CFD, the price feed, the company who you have to trust the company who is delivering the price. When we make a bet,
right.
What's the price of Bitcoin next week? And Coinbase say something different, like Bitfinex, who we pick and who we trust. And of course, there's a lot of manipulation possibilities for those players when it's really big. With Bisq, the price is created in a decentralized, open, transparent way. I mean, it needs a lot of liquidity. The only way to manipulate in Bisq is to make a lot of self trades with yourself and try to push the price in one direction. But when the volume is really big, then you don't reach much with this. It costs you a lot of fees, and that will only work as long as the volume in Bisq is very low. Then the price has also not a lot of reliability, but as soon the volume would be bigger, this price will become an asset at the end.
Guys, I've got to run. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Maybe just one last comment for you guys as well. I mean, if I understand you're really focusing on the onboarding and offboarding of users into fiat, but I don't know, just focusing instead of on volume, like it doesn't sound like you necessarily are, but maybe focusing on larger people, like for example, large OTC trading. That would be a very good use case for Bisq, and that's what I'm looking at it for. Instead of me having to try and do a trade with someone that I know for 5-6 digits, if I could do it on Bisq, even though there's only a few people there, at least if there's people with deep enough pockets there to fill that sort of size, that would be outstanding. And that would be a lot easier to find that number of users than a high volume of users to make a deep liquidity pool. I don't know if that makes sense, but I hope you guys work towards that.
Trades with big volumes has the risk. There's always a fiat transfer included, and all banks have a chargeback risk at the end. You cannot exclude this completely. So the only way to deal with it, to keep the risk very low, and the higher the amounts, the higher the risk that you attract scammers. I mean, when you want to make a trade with $20,000 or whatever, then a stolen bank account scammer will look out for you and try to make a deal with you, and then you suffer from a chargeback and have lost everything. That's the main reason why we have these low limits, to make it not attractive for chargeback scammers. And that has its limitations.
It makes sense. Well, I love what you guys are doing, so I'll definitely support. So thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your input.
All right. Take care, guys. Good talking with you.
Bye. Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye.